Welcome to the Explainer. So here's a question for you. Could your thoughts actually make you rich? Well, today we're diving into a book that says, absolutely. We're talking about Napoleon Hill's timeless classic, Think and Grow Rich.
Right from the get-go, the book hits you with this incredible mystery. Hill tells you there's a powerful secret to success woven all through its pages, but he never actually names it. And this whole thing, it started with a formula given to him by none other than the legendary industrialist, Andrew Carnegie.
And Carnegie didn't just give him the secret. Nope, he threw down a challenge. He basically said, I'm giving you the key, now go spend your life proving it works. And Hill? He took him up on it. We're talking more than 20 years of his life, studying over 500 of the most successful people in America. We're talking titans like Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, and John D. Rockefeller, just to boil down what they all had in common into one single philosophy. Okay, so what's the first big piece of this secret? It all starts with this one kind of mind-blowing idea. Thoughts are things. They're not just little daydreams floating around in your head. Hill says when you take a thought and you mix it with a super specific purpose, relentless persistence, and what he calls a burning desire, well, that thought becomes a real, powerful force that can literally shape your world.
And that leads us right to the engine of this whole thing. This isn't about just, wishing for something or kind of hoping it works out. No, Hill is adamant. Every single great achievement starts with a burning desire. Think of it as an all-consuming obsession with one very specific goal.
So to really get this, let's talk about a guy named Edwin C. Barnes. This guy had one and only one definite desire. He was going to become a business partner with the great Thomas Edison. Now, there was just one tiny problem. Okay, a few big problems. He had no money. He knew nobody. He literally showed up at Edison's lab looking, and this is a quote from Edison himself, like an ordinary tramp. But here's the thing. Edison looked right past the ragged clothes. He saw something else. He saw this fire, this fierce determination in Barnes's eyes. He saw a man who was willing to bet his entire future on this one single goal. And that conviction, that belief alone, that's what got Barnes's shot.
And Barnes's story just perfectly shows the difference, right? A wish, it's passive, it's vague. It's like blowing on a dandelion and hoping for the best. It gets discouraged super easily. But a burning desire, that's totally different. It's active. It's specific. It's all-consuming. It creates a kind of persistence that doesn't even recognize the word failure. And that's exactly what Barnes had.
Now, you gotta understand, Barnes didn't just walk in and become a partner. Not even close. He started at the bottom, taking a low-paying job that seemed totally unimportant. And for 5 years, think about that, 5 years, he just kept his head down, holding on to that one single goal, just waiting for his chance. And then it happened. His moment arrived with a brand new invention, the Edison dictating machine. It was a device that, by the way, nobody else, not even Edison's own salesman, believed in. So you're probably thinking, okay, great, but how do I get that kind of unstoppable desire? Well, the good news is, Hill doesn't leave you guessing. He gives you a super clear, practical, 6-step method to turn that intangible idea in your head into cold, hard cash. And this is the actual formula. Check out how specific this is. First, you have to fix the exact amount of money you want. No vague, I want to be rich. Be definite. Second, figure out exactly what you're willing to give in return. There's no such thing as something for nothing. Third, you got to set a definite date, a deadline. Fourth, create a real plan. And this is key. Start right away, whether you feel ready or not. Fifth, write it all down. Put it in a clear statement. And finally, number 6, read that statement out loud, twice a day. The goal is to see and feel yourself as if you already have the money. See, this whole 6-step process is really designed to do one thing, completely rewire your brain. The goal is to build what Hill calls money consciousness, where your desire isn't just a thought anymore, it's a full-blown obsession. It's about getting that idea so deep into your subconscious that it starts to drive every single thing you do, automatically. Okay, but even if you have the burning desire and the perfect plan, there's this one huge roadblock that stops almost everyone. It's the habit of quitting right when things look tough, right when it feels like you've failed. And to drive this point home, Hill tells this incredible, cautionary story from the gold rush days. So there's this guy, R.U. Darby, and his uncle. They head west to chase the gold rush dream. And after weeks of just grueling, backbreaking work, they hit it. They strike gold. The first shipment of ore comes back and proves they're sitting on one of the richest mines in all of Colorado.
They were this close to paying off all their debts and being set for life.
And then, poof. Just as fast as it showed up, the vein of gold disappeared. They'd hit a fault line, so they kept drilling, frantically, chasing a ghost, but nothing. Absolutely nothing. So, completely frustrated and defeated, they did what so many people do. They quit. They just gave up, sold all their machinery to a local junk man for a few $100 and walked away.
But the junk man, he was a little smarter. He was methodical. Before he touched a single drill, he did the one thing that Darby's never thought to do. He sought expert advice. He went out and hired a mining engineer to come take a look at the mine and give him a real professional opinion. And what the engineer found is just heartbreaking. His calculations showed that the fault line was real, but the vein of gold picked right back up again. It was just 3 feet from where the Darbys had stopped drilling.
Can you believe that? 3 feet. The junk man went on to pull millions of dollars out of that mine. But Darby? He learned a lesson that was way more valuable than gold. He learned that failure is often just a trickster. It loves to trip you up right when you're on the brink of success. And our biggest wins often come just one single step past the point where we feel totally defeated.
And all of this, the desire, the persistence, it all leads to the ultimate power that's at the core of this whole philosophy. The reason any of this is possible, the reason you can keep going when you want to quit, is because you have the single greatest creative tool in the universe, the power to control your own thoughts.
You've probably heard that famous poem by W.E. Henley, "I am the master of my fate, I am the captain of my soul." Well, Hill says that's not just pretty poetry. He argues it's a literal, philosophical fact. So how on earth can that be true?
Well, here's the thinking. Hill's whole philosophy is based on the idea that our brains act like magnets for our most dominant thoughts. So if you are constantly, consistently filling your mind with thoughts of success, with thoughts of wealth, and you mix that with that burning desire we talked about, your mind will literally start to attract the people, the opportunities, the circumstances that are in harmony with those thoughts.
So, at the end of the day, the whole secret really boils down to a choice. You can let your mind be dominated by what Hill calls failure consciousness, just stuck in a loop of thinking about poverty and defeat. Or you can make a conscious, deliberate choice to build success consciousness. You choose to remember that every single great fortune, every incredible achievement started out as nothing more than an idea that was fueled by a burning desire.
So as we wrap this up, the book really leaves you with one final critical question, and it's for you. Forget about what you kind of wish for. What do you truly desire with every single fiber of your being? What is that one definite, burning desire that you're willing to bet your entire future on? Because according to Napoleon Hill, that right there, that's where all riches and all great achievements are born.